Hello and welcome into the Postgame Show here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Gatemen 7-3 victors over the Anglers tonight, beating them for the third time already this year. Alongside me is JD Raucci and Henrique DaMour. I'm Cameron Stuart. Gatemen got off the schneid today after losing back-to-back games. They're back in the win column and will have a date with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on Friday night for first place in the West Division again. And as we talked about in the pregame, Joey Matulovic needed to get things started. He got things started and pretty much ended it too tonight.
Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic on the mound as always. Came into this game with a .69 ERA. That number is going to go down. Did give up one run, but it was unearned. So Joey Matulovic's ERA will go down. An absolutely fantastic performance tonight. 5+ strikeouts once again for the right-hander from Cal. He has been the ace on this Gatemen team, and he will continue to be the ace until he either finishes his summer or heads off to the Brewers or whatever might happen in the next couple of weeks. Joey Matulovic commanded the fastball, pitched incredibly well, got out in front of hitters, was aggressive, located the breaking ball incredibly efficiently and impressively. It was the out pitch tonight for him. The low breaking ball inside to left-handed hitters, outside to right-handed hitters. He got a lot of these Chatham bats fishing, and that's impressive because this is a good Chatham lineup. Tristan English, great hitter. Greg Jones, great hitter. A lot of really, really talented guys in this Chatham lineup, but Joey Matulovic absolutely shut them down tonight.
Matulovic had it going tonight. So did the bats, Henrique. They got it going early, and they had it going often tonight, unlike what they've had in the last few days.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird inning in the fourth inning. A hit batter, couple of walks, pair of singles, a little nubber, a base hit single that should have been, or a base hit single that should have been an out. Ben Ramirez flubbed the ball. We saw Luke Roskin with an infield single. Didn't think those words were going to come out of my mouth anytime soon. But the Gatemen did it kind of every which way, and everyone in the lineup except for Lyle Lockhart and Pavin Parks scored a run. 7 runs scored by 7 different guys. That was awesome to see production front and back. Lyle Lockhart had himself a pretty good day. My key to the game whiffed a little bit. Pavin Parks off to a little bit of a slow start, 0 for 4, but he'll get plenty more opportunities. He's a good ball player, really good at third base and the opportunities he was given. So I'm not worried too much. But, of course, the big encouragement, Bryant Packard providing the power today. A 2-run shot after his hard-hit sacrifice fly out there to left field where I just looked. But he's hit the ball hard. He's provided the power that we saw at Eastern Carolina. He's replacing the extra base power that was lost by primarily Andrew Vaughn, but some by Bryson Stott as well. So the Gatemen, after a win especially, can breathe a little bit easier. It's all going to be okay.
Bryant Packard, the star tonight, an extra base hit in each of his last 5 games for the Gatemen. He was our player of the game tonight, and he got to talk to our Mary Orders after the game.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Gatemen player of the game, Bryant Packard. Now, you had 3 RBIs and a home run. What was working out there for you today?
Just seeing the ball, really. I kind of changed my stance. I've been doing what we call a 2-strike approach stance most of the year, and I just got my foot down, a little bit of a leg kick, and was able to see the ball a little bit better today.
And what pitch did you see on that home run?
It was the first pitch, fastball up and in. You know, the umpire had kind of been – he's got a really big zone tonight, so I was just trying to get the first strike that they threw, and I was sitting up and in, and worked out.
And you guys are bouncing back after a tough road loss. What is it like on team atmosphere-wise coming off of a tough loss?
Yeah, the culture's really good. You know, they spend all spring and fall at their schools, and they face adversity just like we do in summer ball. So everybody's used to it. They know what to do when they see adversity, just overcome it with a lot of toughness.
And I was talking to Coach Sneddon, and he mentioned that you kind of have to have short-term memory loss in this league, kind of forget about it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, totally. That's a great thing about baseball is you get to play the next day. You know, in football, you got to wait a whole week. So the good thing about baseball is you got another game the next day, usually.
Not tomorrow. We have an off day.
Waterways.
And, yeah, you mentioned Waterways, but it's supposed to be storming out. Do you have any other off-day plans?
I think I'm just going to take a bath and play video games.
I heard you're really good at Fortnite.
Yeah, I got like 208 wins now. No big deal.
That's pretty impressive. I don't really play Fortnite, but I think that's good. It's a lot. All right. Thanks so much, Bryant. Guys, back to you.
Thank you to Mary there with Bryant Packard, who was the fuel to the Gatemen victory tonight over the Chatham Anglers 7-3. They'll face a familiar foe when they're back at it after the off day. Friday night, they will be right here at Spillane Field taking on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, a team they're starting to get real familiar with.
3 games in 5 days coming up this week against the Harbor Hawks. Of course, the disappointing loss last night out in Hyannis. Then the home game on Friday, as you mentioned, here at Spillane Field against the Harbor Hawks. And then guess what? A little home-and-home action back to McKeon Park on Saturday for a road game against the Harbor Hawks. And again, coming up on Friday, this game is going to be for first place in the West Division. Hyannis with a win tonight, the Gatemen with a win tonight, so Wareham trailing them by 1 point in the division standing, so it's going to be another tough matchup for the Gatemen. Hyannis is one of the hotter teams in the entire league. They're now working on a 5-game winning streak, haven't lost in 6 games, so Hyannis is coming in hot. Matthew Barefoot is off to a hot start. Pedro Pages has really turned it on, a home run against the Gatemen yesterday, and then a couple of RBIs tonight in their game, so Pedro Pages has turned it on. He could play either catcher or first base, a little bit versatile, because, you know, as we've always said, if you can hit, they're going to find a spot in the lineup for you. So Kyle Wilkie has become the everyday catcher for the Harbor Hawks, but now you're sticking Pedro Pages at maybe DH or first base. Look for that coming up on on Friday and Saturday. We'll see him in a couple of different spots. But also these two teams, as you mentioned, getting very familiar with each other. So it's going to be interesting to see how the pitching kind of works out, because the batters are going to have seen the pitching staff a couple of times, but more importantly, the pitching staff is going to have seen the batters a couple of times. They're going to know, okay, this guy likes to swing outside fastball, I'm going to give him some inside soft stuff, or maybe the other way around. You really start to learn the tendency of these hitters, because hitters play every day. Pitchers normally have a couple of days off in between starts or appearances, so it should be interesting to see what kind of advantage the pitchers might have, or what kind of advantage the batters might have, having seen each other so many times in the last couple of days.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better myself, JD. You pretty much hit everything. The Gatemen pitching staff is going to have to flush an off day, to say the least, by a guy who was ace caliber in Ken Waldachuk. He was absolutely lights out for the Gatemen his first few starts, but he got roughed up, and not a lot of cheap hits for Hyannis either. Matthew Barefoot and Pedro Pages both took him deep. Everybody in the Hyannis lineup did damage to the Gatemen pitching staff, and they couldn't get anything going offensively, productively anyway. They matched Hyannis hit for hit, 12-12, despite losing 9-1. And I think it's also going to be interesting is to see, what happens in Friday and Saturday, because both these teams have been embarrassed at each other's hands, too. It seems like the start of maybe a rivalry, depending on how these next 2 games go, especially with both teams at the top. Both teams having beaten the snot out of each other at one point earlier in this year. So, the Gatemen will have an opportunity to flush it and move on with an off day tomorrow. But also, man, do they got to separate themselves from that 9-1 loss. It'll be interesting to see who goes on Friday and on Saturday. We don't know yet. We haven't got a full beat on this rotation with guys coming in and out of the lineup. Mason Fioli left his rotation spot will be up for grabs. It'll be filled in. But I think the Gatemen showed a really good poise, really good bounce-back win today against Chatham. Everything was going for them. And Chatham's a heck of a team. Hyannis also a very solid team. Like you said, one of the hotter teams in the league. So I think the Friday-Saturday games are really going to test what the Gatemen are made of. This is the most adversity they faced all year against this Hyannis team. Going to be 2 really good ball games on Friday and Saturday.
So the off day tomorrow, the second one of the week for the Gatemen, a chance to regroup or maybe refresh after a nice win tonight. They will go at it with the Harbor Hawks on Friday and on Saturday. Battle for first place in the Western Division on Friday night. You can catch it right here on the Gatemen Baseball Network from Spillane, 6:30 start time. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. That'll do it for us at the Postgame Show. JD Raucci, Henrique DaMour, I'm Cameron Stuart. Gatemen winners again, 7-3 tonight. Thanks for tuning in.